Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on this Saturday. It is 6 o'clock. I'm Haley Fixler. Durham public school leaders continue to work on an ongoing pay dispute with their employees. They look to meet later this week and discuss their next options to address and solve the problem. State Highway Patrol is looking for a driver who they say led them on a high-speed chase early this morning. Troopers tell us it started just before 2 o'clock on Wade Avenue in Raleigh.
There is so much damage here, and this is just one road, and most of the homes here on the street will have to be completely rebuilt. If you look at this house here, the roof is gone. They're already laying down some tarp here. And then on this side here, for this home, you can actually see straight through. The house is completely devastated. A group of officers with their bulletproof vests, guns drawn, running in that direction. You could also hear above me, it looks like a State Highway Patrol trooper chopper also heading slightly in that direction now.
Elementary school students, well, she forecasted an early spring, too. We all know I like the warm weather. Well, better than expected. That's the big headline from the new job report from the federal government. It's a sign the economy is doing well. Local school districts are now required to form a threat assessment teams. A new bill was signed by Governor Roy Cooper yesterday. These teams will monitor the atmosphere and students on campus. Within the last 10 minutes, Wade County Public Schools have identified this 16-year-old victim. They say he is a junior at Knightdale High School, riddled with bullet holes. You can see that bullet hole knocking out that tire back here, another one in the side of the car, one right here by the headlight.
But I want to know who bought it and what they're doing with it.
Oh, I'm sure they are obsessed
That's a great, conversation piece for your house.
That's so cool.
We're very excited, but before you go, now that you brought up Taylor Swift, now we have to ask the very important question, is she there yet?
All thanks to local groups and the Wake County Sheriff's Office.
And this is all part of an ongoing effort to keep kids safe and to hopefully also prevent suicides.
It's so much calmer. The whole atmosphere is eerie because it is so calm after what happened just a few hours ago. Now, we are here outside of Caudle Labs where everything happened. You just heard it in the press conference. A faculty member was killed, and I want to show you the window where that shot was fired.
The Raleigh Police Department has now released their preliminary investigative report after a shooting involving one of their officers.
A little luck, you could actually quit your job if your lottery numbers are right. The jackpot for tonight's Mega Millions drawing is up to $427 million.
And that does mean that you do have to show an ID before your vote can count. This applies even if you're requesting an absentee ballot.
I want to show you this home right here. This is the home that has the most damage. This is the home that investigators believe the fire started in. There is a petition now. Students want all faculty and staff to go through mandatory training for these situations. They also want those university-wide alerts to be more detailed. They say while no one wants anything like this to happen again, they say if it does, they want to be ready.
Fear and confusion. August 28th is the day people at UNC Chapel Hill will never forget.
We saw police cars and police running down the road, so that was the first thing that let us know something was up.
After an hours-long lockdown, students and staff learning an associate professor was killed, allegedly by a doctoral student who ran off after firing his gun. Now, there were concerns with how university leaders communicated the emergency campus-wide.
At the time, it was just an alert, right? Nobody really knew what to do, even including my professor who continued to teach.
Mike Baldonado says his friends and peers sharing similar stories. He started this petition urging administrators to require faculty to go through training and to enhance security in each classroom.
One girl I heard from, she said that she felt more equipped than the professors seemed to be. Just kind of really chaotic and didn't know what to do.
And they locked the door. It was like the lock was kind of stuck, so it was a little bit scary, but yeah.
On the university website, there are resources and guides available for both staff and students. This page advising faculty to close blinds and turn off classroom lights. Another document has this instructor script stating, quote, if there's an emergency, I will stop teaching right away. Baldonado says it's just not enough.
Instead of it just being, on the site, but no one's actually implementing it, people are actually forced to walk through this procedure. Because in my opinion, this school is more prepared to handle fire drills than it is to handle an active shooter.
Now, Micah tells me he is sending an email to administrators this week and will add the petition in this email. Now, of course, we did reach out to UNC officials to see if they're adding training for faculty or even adding more drills. But of course, it is a holiday, so once we get their response, we will share it with you. Live in Chapel Hill, Haley Fixler, CBS 17. Emergency management crews split up into groups. They went with city and county leaders to survey the damage to see how bad it is and how widespread. And this is what they're seeing a lot of. The trees just everywhere and on everything, and homes without roofs and walls just ripped off of the framing. The sunlight streams through the framing of Michael Collins' home.
We had redone our kitchen and got a few things like my wife wanted, and I don't think she wanted a skylight though.
Despite the devastation at his Dorch's house, with the insulation thrown around his floor and trees down all across his yard,
it's going to take a long time to recover.
He's counting his blessings that no one was home during Wednesday's tornado and that these are just material things. But he's hurting.
Well, I'm not going to lie, I'm a grown man, but when I first walked up to the intersection, because I had to park way down the road to get here, I mean, tears just rolled from my eyes because I see all the hard work that I put into this place, me and my wife, and now it's gone.
His home, one of many North Carolina emergency management teams assessed on Monday. We followed crews for about an hour as they took us through Nash and Edgecombe counties, surveying the damage.
We certainly feel for the community. Sorry they experienced this, but certainly we're looking at ways we can help them recover.
They're now done with site visits. Now comes the hard part, figuring out just how much damage the storm caused and just how much the state is going to help with funding recovery efforts.
A certain number of homes need to be in a certain condition that's uninsured or underinsured before the state could approve an individual assistance grant program. If the community does not meet the threshold, then we would look at the unmet needs, and we may go to the General Assembly and ask for additional funds.
Officials tell me they should have an estimate in the next day or two. They also say that they've been to many disaster sites before, but they are touched and they're impressed how much this community is coming together to help each other during this very difficult time. Live in Dorchester, Haley Fixler, CBS 17 News.
All right.
When you come into this parking lot, you're going to see signs just like this one saying you have to pay before you park. Failure to do so means you could be ticketed, towed, or booted. But what we're learning is things are going much further than that. Bright yellow devices are being snapped onto car windshields at the Raleigh Depot downtown. These barnacles are things employees at the Junction Salon and Bar say they see far too often.
I had a barnacle put on my vehicle for my parking didn't go through on their website, and I was charged $715 for the parking.
Over $500 to get it taken off of my car. And if you try to take it off, either an alarm goes off, it's essentially a form of ticket enforcement.
These women had to pay the $200 fee to remove the device, plus the fines, and return the barnacle at one of 2 Raleigh drop-off sites.
It was very heavy, yes.
But it's not the inconvenience that concerns them. It's the high price tag and what they're calling predatory parking.
We have a validation code that reimburses us, so technically for the employees it is still free. Any of our patrons that come in, it's still free for them.
Every now and then you'll see a little scooter or a car that'll drive by, and I think they scan the license plates and look for people that are off by a couple minutes or haven't.
This parking lot is owned by Royal Parking. They own several lots in Raleigh and in Durham. Their website detailing their special technology to detect vehicles that overstay their welcome without paying and more. But customers are still confused how a $12 parking fee can turn into hundreds of dollars of charges. We tried calling Royal Parking several times Wednesday.
Hi, my name is Haley Fixler. I'm with CBS 17. I called a couple of times today.
But no one called us back. Barnacle officials tell us they don't have anything to do with the amount of money charged to customers. They say they take these concerns seriously.
Sometimes we collect the money for you, but in general, it's a device, not like a full labor workforce component. We're very, very cautious about who we do business with. We're very careful. We don't want to be in the business of predatory parking enforcement. We're very, very careful.
Barnacle officials sent us their best practice guidelines they share with their clients, and they encourage their clients to charge reasonable fine amounts and to post the consequences and those fine amounts on each sign. But as you can see right here, we don't see any of that posted. We are going to keep working to get you some answers. In Raleigh, Haley Fixler, CBS 17 News.
CBS 17's Haley Fixler is digging deeper into one agency's mission to truly never forget.
These bright blue numbers on Simon Leuenberg's left arm are now fading, but his identification number, tattooed into his skin at Auschwitz, is burned into his brain.
142, 436.
Now at 100 years old and living in Apex, he still remembers being a teenager in Lodz, Poland.
The Poles never liked the Jews. They were always hateful of the Jews.
Things got worse when the German army invaded Poland in 1939.
When the Nazis came, the Polish people said, Jude, Jude. They pointed out to the Nazis, the Jewish people. The Jewish people had to put on a Star of David.
Simon, his parents, and two brothers forced to live in the Lodz ghetto. For the next 5 years, Simon went from camp to camp, enduring the unimaginable.
So we stayed in line. A assessment was directing us in line which way to go, to left or to right.
Right to die, left another chance to live. Simon reliving the disturbing moments at each place again and again.
We went stripped naked in the snow. I was all completely naked, barefooted in the snow from one barrack to the other. We went there, we came into a shower room, and we held hands, and we said, hey, they're gonna gas us. Instead, they opened up the showers. Nice warm water came out.
It's these stories Karen Kleach needs the next generation to hear.
1 out of 3 students do not know about the Holocaust. They cannot tell you the name of a concentration camp. They don't know any facts about what anti-Semitism is.
The program coordinator for the North Carolina Council on the Holocaust has been working with her team and the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, creating a brand new curriculum for middle and high school students. The Gisela Abramson Holocaust Education Act passed in 2021, requiring North Carolina public schools to teach the Holocaust. Starting in 6th grade, students will learn about hate and will have books to read and videos to watch with their social studies and English teachers.
And the thing is to really pull in that survivor testimony, because that's your proof. This is what happened, right? These images, these people talking, these are the ones that we have to listen to.
And soon, students will listen to Renee Fink's story.
I am a hidden child. That's the official description of me.
The Chapel Hill Holocaust survivor is featured in the new curriculum. At 4 years old, Renee's parents sent her away, hoping to save her life.
The day they said goodbye to me and put me on a bicycle, they knew, but I didn't know, that I would never see them again.
She hid with a Dutch family, taking on a new name,
Renate Gabriele Lazer. Then I became Rita van den Brink.
And a new religion.
I had my own rosary, and I prayed, and I said Hail Marys. There were Germans all around making house searches, looking for Jews.
It wasn't until after the war, when she was older, that she learned about her family's fate at Auschwitz.
They were all murdered, and we say murder. We don't, the survivors don't like to use other words, because I think that's what it is.
In March 2023, the Anti-Defamation League releasing a report showing a 30% increase of anti-Semitic incidents in North Carolina from 2021 to 2022.
I'm deeply concerned.
Including anti-Semitic flyers making their way through different Wake County neighborhoods.
Through education and knowing how events come about, you can better see the warning signs.
It's now a mission to prevent hate that begins in the classroom.
I think we have to find a way to talk about how we get along with people that we don't know or that we don't like.
So that history doesn't repeat itself.
For the past, it can come back in the future. That's why we must stay on guard and let the people know how the Jewish people suffered and how they were killed for no reason at all. If it happens to me, it might happen to you.
This new curriculum is set to go into effect in North Carolina public schools in October. There will also be a Holocaust elective class that will be offered to high schoolers starting next fall. Now, we've posted a link with some of the resources and books students will get on our website, CBS17.com.